Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. What the hell wrong with that camera, man? Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. What the hell's going on with Daniel Dubois and Frank Sanchez? Now, before we dive into it, make sure you leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe, become a member to the channel. And just enjoy this goddamn show. All right, I got about, 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Let's go ahead and get this one out, then I'm going to pick up my son. Yo, Daniel Dubois and Frank Sanchez. Yo, it looks like there's some issues with purse bid and a delay in the fight getting made. But anyway, Daniel Dubois, strong, bring that Sesame Street raw power. He's young, got a destructive jab, confidence, size, physicality. He is a problem for anyone. He's proved it. You get in the ring with Daniel Dubois, he can hurt you. He can knock you out. He just there's only one person that he doesn't seem to be able to do that with, and that's Alexander Usyk. But we all know Alexander Usyk. He and Terrence Crawford are the best. There's no number 1 and 2. They're just both equally matched as the best. Now, for Daniel Dubois, I would always favor him in almost any fight. But going up against Frank Sanchez, I don't know how that plays out. But this is a very interesting fight, especially when you look at the styles, you know what I'm saying? Frank Sanchez, Cuban, got the Cuban footwork, defensive slickness, counter-punching accuracy, championship-level composure, a very, very high boxing IQ like what you find with most Cuban fighters. So this is definitely a classic puncher versus technician matchup. Some say, well, why does this matter? Why are they making the fight? It's simple. The fight determines who's ready for a title shot, Daniel Dubois was a champion. He lost his title to Usyk. He basically just gave it back to Usyk. And he's looking to get back in position. And so is Frank Sanchez. And you just don't know what's going to happen with Usyk. He's going to vacate titles, if he's really going to go forward and fight Fabio Wardley. You just don't know what he's going to do. But this fight for sure is going to determine who's ready for a title shot. Again, when it comes to Daniel Dubois, who can hang the new wave of heavyweights. You got Jalalov, Hrgovic, you got Anderson, who knows if he's coming or going. But they're just trying to see, that who still has what it takes to hang with these guys and showing that they don't crack under pressure. And they know with these two, if they're going to continue in their careers, they got to be able to work and not crack under elite pressure. So I think both men need this win. But, I just think when you look at the style makeup, what's his name, Frank Sanchez, he's extremely dangerous for Dubois because he can move, he can box, he uses angles, and that's what Usyk usually give him problems. So you say, who wins? I always like Dubois. But Frank Sanchez is the favorite, man. They just talk about his superior ring IQ. Cuban fighters understand angles, timing, resets. They understand traps better than almost any other style. Usyk isn't Cuban, but he uses those things to win fights. And Dubois can be very predictable at times. But Dubois can be discouraged under pressure as well. Joyce beat him mentally. Usyk outclassed him. Gerald Miller had great moments, and Gerald Miller was out of shape. But a calm, technical counterpuncher like Sanchez who thinks he can frustrate the shit out of him, actually. And Sanchez can neutralize Dubois' jab, slip inside, pivot away, turning Dubois, taking his power off balance. Let me tell you something. It's going to be interesting. I like Dubois. I think he can destroy anything. But if Sanchez can still move beautifully for a heavyweight, Dubois could struggle finding the target and landing. So it could go either way, to be honest. But something kind of tell me that, Sanchez, maybe late in the fight, catches Dubois being overly aggressive, getting a bit Sesame Street and rushing in. And Sanchez puts the Cuban bings on him. Maybe late KO, late TKO, or wide decision. Now, can Dubois win? I'm gonna keep telling you, yes. He's very dangerous, especially early in the fight. Frank Sanchez getting there trying to dance salsa and be cute and shit. Dubois will bing him. But I gotta see if Dubois can cut the ring off early, if he can force some exchanges that Frank Sanchez may not want to be in. And if Dubois can land the big right hand before Sanchez gets comfortable, it's gonna be all she wrote. If Dubois clips Sanchez, he can end the night quickly. But the longer the fight goes, the worse it gets for Dubois, in my opinion. He just starts to get just shredded. It is what it is. But talk about freak shows, and being at the goddamn circus. Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, the heavyweight showdown. This fight is on. It is not an exhibition. This fight is, no kidding, a heavyweight match. Somehow Jake Paul fumbled his way into a fight, but he and Anthony Joshua are really good friends, so they're just basically robbing the bank. Jake Paul is biting off, in my opinion, a dinosaur-sized bite. Not just more than he can chew. This is a case of, what you call taking it beyond the stupid. I do think Jake Paul may be able to catch AJ, but most people will tell you this fight's nowhere near competitive. It's a spectacle, money grab, marketing stunt, not a real heavyweight contest. I guess we just got to wait and see how it plays out, you know what I'm saying? But most people are asking, they say there's 6 million ways to die. Choose one. Which one is Jake Paul going to choose? Jake Paul's going to experience what it feels like to be in the ring with a 250-plus pound Olympic gold medalist, former unified heavyweight champion, a man who's knocked out world champions. I really feel Jake's going to feel weight. He's going to feel the speed. He's going to feel straight punches he's never experienced. The physical strength difference, a jab that feels like a power shot. If Anthony Joshua fights him in a real fight, which is what it's supposed to be, but you just never know. It's going to end one of three ways. AJ knocks him out brutally, Jake Paul quits on the stool, or the referee saves him early. There may be a fourth one, Jake Paul dies. But maybe there's a fifth one, Jake Paul catches him. Maybe he catches him, Joshua's chin ain't the best, but many people say Jake Paul won't win. But I just wonder if they're really going to fight, like if they're really going to throw down. I just have a feeling it may be a shit show and we're all going to be out here cussing the TV because it wasn't a real fight. You just got to understand why people are doubting Jake Paul. Same way, I'm going to be real. AJ's chin isn't the same. But he's so much bigger. He's just so much more advanced than Jake Paul. But you just never know. But people will tell you Jake Paul, there's no way in the world he wins this fight. He doesn't have the experience, defense, doesn't have the conditioning, doesn't have the footwork size, punching power to survive with, Anthony Joshua. It's a true heavyweight, more of a super heavyweight. He's a beast. So Jake Paul, why is he doing this? I'm going to tell you, he's crazy. We all know he's crazy. But he's all about his Wu-Tang cream cha-ching-ching money. He likes the attention, the headline moment. And even if he loses, he's going to win financially because nobody expects him to win anyway. Jake Paul knows, they say Jake Paul knows he can't beat AJ, but I'm sure they've talked. I'm sure they've spoken and kind of figured out the direction it's going to go. But we have to see. Joshua is definitely the biggest bag of money that's out there for Jake Paul. So I'm not surprised that the fight's happening since Tank fell through the cracks. Now, this thing about Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., I'm going to tell you, I'm going to watch it, but I don't want to see it, if that makes sense. They should have stopped it after the first fight. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, man. But it says, okay, the rematch, what happens to the winner? Well, the winner is going to become a top 5 pay-per-view attraction in the UK. A contender for big money fights against a lot of people. A potential for Canelo if they build traction and Canelo decides he wants to keep moving. The winner is going to take home a lot of money. I think Eubank Jr. is making $22 million. Conor Benn's making upwards of 15 million, something. They're making a lot of money, boy. And that's a cumulative fight purse when you take into consideration pay-per-view splits, UK ticket sales, and everything. They're going to make a lot of money. Now, as far as the loser, I don't think they're going to get criticism, but there are always a handful of cockleholes that want to publicly criticize the loser. I don't think that's fair. These two guys deserve all the respect in the world, no matter who wins, who loses. But it could be a little loss of star power. Right now, they're both superstars. Even Conor Benn with the loss, he's a superstar. But if he loses again, he's going to lose a little bit of luster. Could reduce some bargaining leverage, if they went to decide to do a trilogy. Retirement talk, I don't think that's going to happen. If Eubank Jr. loses, he may have to think about retirement. But not Conor Benn. He'll go back down to 147 and keep doing the business. But Eubank Jr., if he can beat Benn twice, that would be a real career boost. And for Conor Benn, it wouldn't be a career demolition. It'd be like, yo, you're just a small guy, went up 2 weight classes to fight somebody much bigger than you, and, you lost, but you held your own. So it's just an unfinished business storyline that I think no matter what happens, it dies after this rematch. So they're both going to make a lot of money, man. A lot of money. So it is what it is. Now, speaking of a lot of money, Virgil Ortiz and Jerome Boots Ennis. Virgil Ortiz wants $10 million to fight Jerome Boots Ennis. So, what does that mean? It shows me that he may not be confident about fighting Boots. And it goes back to what I was saying. I don't think the fight's going to happen. I've been saying that. And this just gives you all the reasons in the world to believe it won't happen. Does Virgil deserve big money? Yeah. But come on now, man. It's about business positioning. You got to break this down. Virgil asking for $10 million, that's probably De La Hoya behind him saying, hey, go ahead and ask for that so we can take you and do something different against a fight that's a lower risk. But if we're going to do it, get paid. That's all it is. Boots is a high-risk, low-reward right now type fight. He's not huge as far as pay-per-view, but he's dangerous as hell. Everyone knows it. Virgil knows it is a career-ending fight if he loses badly, because Boots can beat you up, and Virgil's tough. He'll take the abuse till the referee jumps in and saves him, or the corner does. Oscar De La Hoya doesn't want one of his prime assets destroyed. Boots destroys people that would kill Golden Boy's momentum with Virgil Ortiz. And bottom line is say, yo, we just want to be overpaid for the risk. That's it. If you're going to come in here and, I'm going to risk my life with Philly's finest, this Philadelphia killer, pay me. But if he's going to get beat up, he just wants the life-changing money. And that's why they out here looks like they're pricing themselves out. And that's what fighters do normally when they don't want to fight. So does this mean Virgil's scared? I think it just means he respects Jerome Ennis. He knows Boots is the toughest opponent in the division. He knows his team doesn't want to fight. He's financially priced himself out. So Virgil isn't scared of fighting. He's scared of what losing to Boots does to his career. That's all it is, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we'll see what happens, man, with Dubois, Frank Sanchez, Jake Paul, and this stuff with, what's his name? Anthony Joshua is just freak show. And then Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. making huge money. I just hate to know that they're going to be fighting each other, because I just think they should have left everything alone after the first fight. But I get it. You're going to make 15, 20 million. I mean, do it. Eubank Jr. killing himself to make the weight. He made the weight. So it is what it is. So we'll see what happens. Then you got Virgil Ortiz and Jerome Ennis. Fight fans, buckle up. You guys are not going to get that fight. So just forget about it. It is not going to happen. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, 7 continents. Yo, I'm in the breeze.